Russia's crude oil exports are facing their steepest decline in months as new US sanctions take aim at the country's biggest oil exporters. Today, we break down the key developments, the impact on global oil flows, and what comes next for Moscow and its major customers in Asia. US sanctions have now expanded to include Russia's top 4 crude exporters, hitting industry giants Rosneft and Lukoil. The result? A rapid plunge in Russia's seaborne oil deliveries as major buyers like India, China and Turkey, who together account for over 95% of Russia's exported oil, significantly scaled back their purchases. With buyers pulling back, Russian oil is piling up at sea, raising stakes for Moscow's oil-dependent economy. According to vessel tracking data, the 4-week average of Russian oil shipments fell to 3.58 million barrels per day by November 2nd, down about 190,000 barrels from just a week earlier. The sharpest drop was seen in the most recent week, with shipments hitting their lowest level in 10 weeks at just 3.02 million barrels per day. The volume of oil floating at sea unsold without a final destination has swollen by 27 million barrels, topping 380 million barrels. The surge in floating storage is a direct result of refiners' reluctance to accept Russian shipments amid fears of running afoul of sanctions. Indian refiners, which had routinely been buying up to 1 million barrels of Russian crude daily, are now pausing their purchases, waiting to see if workarounds can be found. December and January deliveries, crude that should actually be loading right now, are expected to take a major hit. State-run oil firms in India are considering whether smaller non-sanctioned suppliers might still provide Russian oil, but large-scale flows have dropped off. Across the border in China too, the story is very similar. State-owned refiners like Sinopec and PetroChina have cancelled some cargoes, with analysts estimating nearly 400,000 barrels per day being affected, almost 45% of China's total seaborne imports from Russia. Turkey, the third key buyer, is also slashing purchases and turning to alternative suppliers like Iraq, Libya, Saudi Arabia and Kazakhstan. As refiners take their breaks, Russian exporters are still loading oil into tankers, with far few buyers willing to accept delivery. Much of this oil remains at sea, effectively unsold and in limbo. The shift is making oil held at sea a crucial metric for tracking the true impact of sanctions. Tankers are increasingly hiding their final destinations or signaling waypoints like Suez Canal instead of India or China. While historically these barrels have ended up in Asia, the new sanctions may keep them at sea until sellers figure out a new way to skirt restrictions. The final impact is stuck. Moscow's oil revenue has tumbled to its lowest point since August. The 4-week gross value of oil exports slipped by $90 million to $1.36 billion per week, weighed down by both falling export volumes and weak prices. Russia's flagship Urals crude slipped to just over $51 a barrel, well above the G7 price cap, while the premium ESPO grade headed to Asia is barely holding about $59 a barrel. Shipments to Asian customers, including cargoes with no visible destination, have dropped to 3.26 million barrels a day from 3.39 million barrels just a week ago. Oil shipments signaling China fell to 970,000 barrels a day, while those bound for India dropped to 940,000. However, around 1.3 million barrels per day are floating on ships with no declared destination. Many expected to still head to India and China, but delayed by the uncertainty over sanctions. Turkey's shipments also dropped to around 320,000 barrels per day, and no Russian oil has recently headed to Syria. While the current disruption looks severe, some industry leaders suggest that it may prove temporary. Commodity traders anticipate that eventually much of the sanctioned oil may find its way in the global market through new trade routes or intermediaries, a pattern often seen in past sanction episodes. However, for now, the direct effect is being felt. Falling cargoes, sinking prices, mounting oil in sea, and a tightening squeeze on Moscow's oil revenue. As Indian and Chinese refiners pause and seek alternatives, Russia is under pressure to either find new buyers or new ways to transfer cargo. Until then, oil at sea is the new symbol of sanctions era, and global oil markets are watching every move. What do you think about this? Let us know in the comments, and like, share and subscribe to ET Now for more such news and views.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.